Champions League is back for a brand new year and Arsenal are back in business, with a trip to Bergamo looming against a very tricky Atalanta. Mikel Arteta has a lot to think about, so today we'll break down the breaking team news regarding Martin Odegaard, discuss how Arsenal can thrive in his absence, find out what's happening between Robert Pires and Bukayo Saka, discuss the new evolution of Mikel Arteta, and break down who could be starting in the massive game against Atalanta away. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Baz14. Welcome back to your boys channel and I hope you guys are doing sensational as always as Arsenal approach a brand new European campaign. Things are about to get interesting, so as per, smash a like on the video if you enjoy it and subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're starting off with the breaking Arsenal team news. Despite beating Spurs at the weekend in what was a stupendous victory, one of the key absentees of course was Martin Odegaard, the missing captain after an international break injury, rolling his ankle and then ending up in crutches. In terms of updates and what was happening, Arsenal were very silent, waiting for Odegaard's ankle to stop swelling so they can get a scan in. But today Mikel Arteta has confirmed that we will lose Martin Odegaard for a while. The scans have showed he has some damage, especially on one of his ligaments in his ankle. In terms of the time frame, according to Con Harrison, Martin Odegaard is expected to be out for a minimum of 2 months. In many ways, it is the worst case scenario. Arsenal will be out their captain for a long period of time. And in terms of the player's return, according to Team News and Ticks, Odegaard is aiming for a November return. Now, when you're approaching a game against the champions of Man City, you've got a game against Atalanta midweek, it's the last thing you want to hear. But at the same time, this is a test that Arsenal have needed. Having had Odegaard available last year, likewise Declan Rice. When you compare that to Man City, who were without Kevin De Bruyne and Erling Haaland for large parts of the season, Mikel Arteta has often been criticised for his lack of adaptation, finding a way to survive even when his best players aren't available. You then look at the result against Spurs and how we thrive without Odegaard, using Havertz to balance Bukayo Saka and Trossard to balance the left hand side. While most people see this as a major blow, some will see it as a major opportunity. To see how far this Arsenal team's come in terms of mentality. Can you go to the Etihad away without your captain and still get results? But having let go of Fabio Vieira and Emil Smith-Rowe in the summer, that for me was a sign of faith in Ethan Nwaneri, who when looking at the Arsenal squad photo of 2024-25, is there to be seen a part of the first team Arsenal squad, alongside the likes of Aidan Heaven, Tommy Setford and Miles Lewis-Skelly. At 17 years of age, to be asked to replace your captain is a lot of pressure, but Ethan Nwaneri is a player that thrives under it. Ever composed on the ball, able to thrive in spaces. In a world where you have Lamine Yamal starting at 17 years of age, you've got Zaire Emery starting at PSG, we are seeing a new generation of technical ballers arrive, which of course includes Ethan Nwaneri. At the same age as Cesc Fabregas broken to the Arsenal side, the question for Nwaneri is not about his technical ability, but can he thrive off the ball? Because losing Martin Odegaard, our press is going to be affected. One of the most hard-working midfielders in all of Europe, winning possession 44 times on the final third last season. That's why I'm looking at the likes of Havertz and Trossard. Experienced players that can help Arsenal lead that press, take the burden off Nwaneri and guide him through games. But looking past Atalanta or Man City, Carabao Cup games against Bolton and games against Leicester, sometimes as a young player all you need is a bit of luck. An opportunity to break into the Arsenal side that is really disrupted. The question becomes, is Mikel Arteta going to trust him? Is Hell N about to rescue Arsenal once again? As we have previously seen with a certain Bukayo Saka, who after getting another assist against Spurs on the weekend, makes it 4 assists in 4 games this season, cementing himself as one of the best wingers in world football. According to Arsenal legend Robert Pires, Bukayo Saka still lacks a certain level of consistency. In my opinion, Jeremy Doku is a bit better, as he has better dribbling skills and is more imaginative, which of course caused a lot of controversy, and rightly so, for a player that got 19 goal contributions in 21-22, then going from 26 to 34, consistently improving as a player and being Arsenal's main man. With 39 Premier League assists at the age of 23, more than the likes of Coutinho, Mane, Pogba, Ronaldo and Cazorla, 1 behind Nwaneri and 2 behind Pires himself. Arsenal fans could not believe it, and that's why we got an apology. Robert Pires, taking it to his Instagram ahead of the game against Tottenham, said, "I want to clarify, I think Saka is an amazing player and I have huge respect for him. A while ago I was asked to compare him to another player. I said the other player has better skills in some areas, but that does not mean he's a better player than Saka. I generally think Saka is better and a fantastic number 7. Apologies put to one side, here was Bukayo Saka in Arsenal training, seen in conversation with both Ethan Nwaneri and Miles Lewis-Skelly. Even at 23 years of age, he's starting to act like an uncle, a part of the Arsenal leadership group, advising other Arsenal Hell Ns because he's an example of a player that's made it through. And talking of Hell N, shout out to both Eddie Nketiah and Reece Nelson, scoring their first goals for Fulham and Crystal Palace in their recent games in the Carabao Cup. Moving on to Mikel Arteta's evolution. After becoming the first manager in Arsenal history to win its Spurs away for 3 years in a row, assert himself as the dominant manager in London, there have been a lot of people talking about his tactics, having won the game with only 36% possession, 31% field total and 22 final third entries. Not scared to go into the low block and defend deep. A pragmatic approach in big games that he's not scared to use. It's not that Arsenal are defensive, it's that Arsenal are clever. Even in this game against Spurs, Arsenal are aggressive in their pressing, going man-to-man in the Spurs defensive third, with Yuri and Timber at times popping up front, Gabriel Magalhaes playing on the left wing. Rather than forcing dominance on the ball by overdoing it, Arsenal chose to control out of possession, rarely allowing Spurs space in the middle, then picking and choosing their moments to dominate. Mikel Arteta has created one of the most versatile sides in world football, a team that can produce the most aggressive press in the league, but also play the most compact and organised deep block. As much as Mikel Arteta has influence with the likes of Arsene Wenger and Pep Guardiola, you can't forget that majority of his career was under David Moyes, a pragmatic coach that loved his physical players, the prime example of course being Marouane Fellaini, a long target man midfielder that you could compare to a certain Kai Havertz. Despite often being compared to Pep Guardiola, Mikel Arteta is his own man, evolving his tactics to the point now where he's not scared to be different, organise his team in a deeper block, in order to get the best possible results. So after recently committing his long-term Arsenal future, signing a brand new 3-year contract, as Mikel said, I was never going to leave Arsenal for any other club or country now. This is the emotional attachment I have, my family and my kids have, the experience that I have, the moment with the people, it's too strong. Year on year, Arsenal are getting better and better, increasing their point tally every single year under the manager. For 5 years running, Mikel Arteta has a 60% Premier League win rate, the highest out of any manager without a Premier League title. In 2024, not only are Arsenal unbeaten away from home, we're currently on a 102-point pace, slightly behind Man City's 104. That's the issue there. Arsenal are reaching all-time levels yet still slightly falling short. It's very intriguing that Arsenal only gave Mikel a 3-year contract, because as Mikel says, Stan and Josh Kroenke are the hungriest sports people I've ever met. I have never seen an ownership like it. The level of support they give you, it's something incredible. They've invested so much money in the past few years with the likes of Declan Rice, Kai Havertz and so many more. But the truth is the pressure is building. An FA Cup or Carabao Cup won't do it. In the next 2 years, Arsenal need to win a Premier League title. Let's talk about Kai Havertz though, the Arsenal number 9 who thrived against Spurs, who now has 22 games as a striker with 10 goals and 8 assists. But against Spurs, it wasn't even a goal and assist. It was an off-the-ball masterclass. First in terms of intensive runs, off-the-ball runs and pressures. 13 pressures in the final third, 7 resulting in turnovers, covering the second most amount of distance and second most sprints. The thing that makes this Arsenal side special is the off-the-ball ability. That's why Havertz is such an important profile to have. An elite engine that is able to start game in, game out. Always available and now proving ever reliable. As Fabrizio Romano says, I still expect Arsenal to reassess the possibility of signing a striker next summer. I think it's going to be one of the big targets for Arsenal. So in a world where elite strikers are limited, there's one striker standing out by a country mile. Victor Gyökeres of Sporting Lisbon. Absolutely on fire right now, having started the year with 9 goals and 3 assists in just 7 games. It's 12 goals and 5 assists for club in country. The Swedish striker has now provided goal contribution in every game this season. Doing it in Portugal is one thing, but he's also doing it in the Champions League now, with a goal on his competition debut and a 7.8 rating, 1 successful dribble, 4 key passes and 1 big chance created. It's getting to the point where he's becoming undeniable, ruthless finishing game after game, causing chaos time and time again. The fact that Gyökeres comes alive inside the box is a key thing for Arsenal fans, with even Mikel Arteta saying last year that we need box efficiency. As a player himself says, yes, the release clause into my contract is high, but I'm happy at Sporting. I had no problems when I had to stay here for one more season. My value is there and that's it now. We will see when something happens. Moving on to Arsenal's Champions League return. The European Knights are back for a brand new year and we're starting off this year in Bergamo, in a tough game against Atalanta, the reigning Europa League champions, with the referee confirmed as Clement Turpin, aka Trossard Sr. In terms of the team, of course, there's no Martin Odegaard, but there is going to be Ricardo Calafiori, who as confirmed by Charles Watt is back in training, alongside Declan Rice and Bukayo Saka, but there is no Zinchenko, Marino, Tomiyasu or Tierney. So when you've got a tough European away day against a high pressing side, here's how I think Arsenal could line up. Raya in goal with White, Saliba, Gabriel and Calafiori back four, Jorginho, Rice and Nwaneri in midfield, and a front three of Jesus, Havertz and Raheem Sterling. Really and truly I could be entirely wrong, because we're yet to see how much Mikel Arteta is willing to change. When you've got the massive game of the weekend at the Etihad, after an intense game against Spurs, surely some Arsenal players need rest. Atalanta will make things very difficult, with coach Gasperini known for a very intense style of pressing. Star players like Ademola Lookman and Gianluca Scamacca Arsenal are going to need to rely upon all their experience. The likes of Jorginho and Jesus will be important. Even Ricardo Calafiori, who's played at Italy before. These Italian sides are serious as Man City now know, held to a 0-0 draw at the Etihad Stadium to Inter Milan. The first time they've not won a game all season. The key news is about Kevin De Bruyne. Having been taken off at halftime with an injury, he has now become a doubt for the game against Arsenal. The game on Sunday is becoming that much more intriguing, but in terms of Man City off the field, with 115 charges looming over their head, the court hearing against the Premier League is officially starting. And according to the Telegraph, some figures in the Premier League do not believe One relegation to the Championship will be enough punishment to Man City if they are found guilty of most of their charges. One suggestion is to apply point deductions over several seasons to severely impact their chances of competing for titles. Another option is to expel City from the Premier League, which could have massive consequences. The fact that we're even talking about point deductions and relegations tells you how deep the situation is. Man City are fighting for their lives, and if they're found in trouble, it could severely impact Arsenal in their title race in what could be Pep's final year as their manager. That is the video there and there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all of his social medias, then the links are down in the description. But that was all of your latest Arsenal news today. Ahead of a massive game at Bergamo against Atalanta away. It won't be easy, but it will be interesting. So as per, stay tuned as always as we break it down. And I'll see you next time in a bit.